And welcome to a special edition of Comics Experiment, one where no one can leave their house, and apparently everyone wore beanies and didn't tell me about it. Comics Experiment is the show here at Comicstorian that we film live at twitch.tv/Comicstorian every Thursday at about 2 p.m. Eastern. Be it we're in the set or we do it online, you will get an episode. We then upload it over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian, where most of our funding comes from for a lot of these projects, where you can get early access, unedited, and you'll basically support us through some tougher times like right now. And then it gets uploaded to the YouTube where many of you are watching this right now on the Comicstorian channel. This is the show where I sit with Andy and Dan and we talk about stuff happening in the comic book world, some cool ideas, and sometimes just look at a list and see if we agree or disagree with it. I think did I do the intro? It's a bit weird doing the intro like this, just saying.
You did, but I do want to mention, we also have two sponsors today. We have Honey.
I was getting to that.
Well, I got to it for you. Where you can get
Hold on. Portal! Okay, no, not Portal.
This is not the Portal time.
I want to do the intro now. Sorry,
but thank you. This is sponsored by Honey, where you can get honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE, as well as 4Hymns, where you can get your first month for free by getting started at 4hymns.com/comics. And Benny will tell you more about that in the middle of today's show.
I will. That's what I do here. If this is your first time watching our podcast, welcome to the show. And I apologize if it's not what you're expecting. We do it every Saturday. And actually, this is the first show we're airing in 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So basically, this is the third week.
Third week? So yeah. We had 2 weeks officially off, right?
Yes.
Indeed.
So what happened is, and this is funny, and I wanted to tell this story here because Andy's going to get a kick out of it. Because a lot of you are like, wait, you didn't announce time off. You're right. We didn't. And the reason was we weren't taking time off. Andy was going away. And then Dan and I said, well, if Andy gets time off, why don't we get time off? And Andy's vacation turned into a vacation for everyone.
You're welcome.
That, and then we came back and we were like, okay, we've got work where we got to go to Chicago for this thing. And then we landed and they're like, hey, so the thing's canceled. So here's another weekend for you. And I just brought that up because I got to pet a big fish and I wanted to make sure everyone knew that I got to pet.
Is that a euphemism?
No, I got to pet these big old fish. Like they were multiple. I think they were sturgeon.
Sturgeon,
I went through the line twice. I was like, I want to pet these fish again. It was great.
I went through the line twice. I also want to know, and this is not. It was actually really funny watching Dan do the fish thing so we were at the Chicago Aquarium because we went there for Final Combat, which is like a Mortal Kombat thing, and we landed. We literally landed. They're like, yeah, we canceled it all because of COVID-19. And we're like, oh. They're like, we're still gonna fund your whole trip though, so you have a free trip to Chicago. So we're like,
actually. Yeah. I like to point out how my vacation was an actual vacation. I traveled across the world and whatnot. You guys just practiced social isolation a little early.
Well, I started practicing like 8 years ago.
That's fair. Yeah, that's good.
But the best part about this whole aquarium thing we did, it's a bunch of adults walking around, and we all got in line to pet the fish. And then Dan gets back in the line, and I just look over there, and it's like 7-year-old, 9-year-old, 7-year-old Dan, just standing up there like this nice tall guy. And then Dan's pushing the kids over. You're doing it wrong.
Get out of my way, you little. I'm not going to swear.
Dan, I will back you on this. When I went to Disney World a couple years ago, I got in line to create my own lightsaber. And it's 32-year-old at the time, Andy, amongst all these little kids. And then a little kid tried to cut me, and I told him to get to the back of the line. And his father did not appreciate it.
You're like, hey, I've been waiting forever to make this lightsaber.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's like, don't make me go dark side.
It was like the crappy plastic ones they used to have. They're like this fucking big, this big, and yeah, it wasn't even worth it. But that's fine, whatever. Man. I'm with you, Dan.
See, but it was great because of how tall I am. My arms are long enough that I could reach like towards the bottom and like pet all of them. And the little kid next to me couldn't reach, and I was laughing at him because they were fun.
Should have pushed him.
Yeah,
I totally should have been like, hey, do you want help?
Yeah.
Get in there, kid. Time for you to swim with the fishes.
Right. So today's episode is going to be a little off simply because we're not used to doing it this way. We got a few topics I want to go through for today's episode, but the first thing I want to bring up is COVID-19 and how it's changing things around for you guys.
Yes.
So if you watched the show with me and Sal, we already discussed how it's changing the comic book industry. I think the best thing coming out of that, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this, is the fact that the comic book stores in general, which are known to be dirty, nasty places, are doing curbside pickup so they can start and stay in business during this.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Andy, I think you're the only one out of
That's
this group
cool.
that is still going to the store directly. Because I have Gary.
Yeah, I went yesterday. Yeah.
Are they doing it there?
No, they're not doing it.
No. So you still
I
have to
walked
go
in, I talked to the guy, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going? Any issues?" He's like, "No, I mean," he's like, "I've been wiping it down when everybody leaves, but other than that, it's like we're still good." He canceled a bunch of stuff they were doing, but
Oh yeah, I'm assuming like Friday Night Magic and the usual stuff. Like that,
things
right?
like that. Yeah, because they also do Magic and Warhammer at that particular store. So
Oh, Warhammer. We got to get into that now, Andy.
yeah, but he canceled that. But yeah, I walked in. I mean, I picked up my comics like normal.
Okay. How do you feel about that, Dan?
Then I immediately went out, drenched myself in Purell.
Honestly, I think and this is going to sound weird, the best part that's come out of the whole, curbside pickup is not actually the whole curbside pickup, but the fact that comic writers and stuff are finally actually announcing these different stores. Because all of them are like, let's keep the stores in business. Let's do this. And it's like, why weren't you doing this before when people should have still been going and supporting their local comic book stores? Because now it's just kind of let's hope they don't shut down, where it could have been, hey, let's get people to go out to the stores and revitalize the industry, because it's showing that it's working, because all of these writers and artists and stuff like that are all tweeting out the different locations. They're retweeting. And it's like, and I'm just looking at this as I feel like this kind of promotion should have happened sooner.
I agree. I do agree with you on that one. I do know some, like Scott Snyder will always tweet the ones in his neighborhood.
Right.
Leo Wilson, the one from Gwenpool that we like. I never say her name right. Williams. I never say her name right.
Yes.
I apologize if you actually watch her show. She tweets out a lot of her stores. I've seen that. Joshua Williamson does. But you're right. It's a much bigger push right now because they really want you to know.
Yeah.
As opposed to more simple things of like, hey, I'll be at this store at this time if you want to come by, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think it's been good for assuming that, let's go under the assumption, knock on wood to prevent any jinxing, that everything goes down, everything goes back to normal. I'm really hoping that this kind of brings people's attention to where their local store are and potentially revitalize the physical industry again.
I think it totally could, simply because now, like, even if people weren't aware before, like, so many normal stores are just shut down in their entirety. So I feel like the places that are open, the local businesses that are doing this to maintain themselves, they're going to get more traction in general because, like, let's say Andy, who apparently is completely ignoring the COVID-19 virus, decides that he's just going to go out to his comic book store. If you didn't know it existed, now you know where to go find it.
First of all, I'm not ignoring it. I only go out for essentials, and New Comic Book Day is essential.
You're not wrong.
Hey,
I will
fair.
agree with you on that.
And then I Purelled myself and my comic books upon getting home.
Oh, were they all worth money too? And now they're just covered in Purell.
It's the only way to read them at this point. They're dripping.
I got Action Comics #1. I gotta put them in Purell.
But I Purelled it, so it's good now.
Sal told a funny story. He's like, I went back and I started looking at some back issues of my local store, and I was just like, what am I doing? They're covered in all kinds of germs.
That is true, realistically. He's going to get, like, I don't know, Ebola or the Black Plague from back issues.
So it's interesting to see the world and how it's changing around. But I did want to, that leads us to the next part of the discussion. There have been some changes since Sal and I did our episode. Bladshot, because I can't say Bloodshot apparently.
You're going to say Black Bolt, and I'm like, where the heck's he going with this?
The Black Bolt movie featuring
Black
Vin Diesel.
Shot.
Is now officially being pushed to digital.
Yes.
Yes.
A lot of movies are being pushed to digital, actually. That just came out in theaters.
Incredibly
So
smart.
I wanted to ask you guys, do you think that this is going to change the digital market in general? Because, like, great point. Andy, you're going out to get Doom tomorrow.
Correct.
Do you
Unless they're closed, and then I'll go out for the essentials.
It's GameStop. If they close for a day, the whole place is going to shut down for good.
That is true. Yeah.
But the question I'm running into is, like, Bloodshot's going to digital, right? I'm going to get Doom digital. I already got Animal Crossing digital. I already get my comic books digital. Is this going to be the
combination.
final big push where digital is now the fully accepted way to that you guys think?
I think that this is the ideal situation to test it out because there's legitimate reasoning behind it. They kind of have to do it, and it's going to give them an idea of when things hopefully go back to normal, if this is going to become a new industry standard, or if it's going to just completely die off. Because if it becomes an industry standard, I think that could benefit consumers because people, I feel like movie theaters are going to start lowering their prices finally because they're going to be like, oh, people can just watch it from home. Why are they going to show up here to spend $20 to see it and have popcorn when they could rent it at home for $10 for their $2 pack of 30 packages of popcorn? And I think it could actually be really good in many different aspects because I know a lot of people want to see early movies as well that don't like going out and don't like going to movie theaters in general. And I think everyone would like to see movie theater prices go down. Everyone.
Now, I want to clarify. You said $20 for a movie and a popcorn. That's a $50 price tag, Dan, right? At least.
That is true, yes.
No kidding.
The popcorn is more expensive than the movie, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Popcorn is $20.
I would say, I mean, digital has been, I think, more popular in the last couple of years anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much everybody I know buys digital at this point. I'm like the last guy who's like, I like physically owning crap. And everybody makes fun of me for it, honestly. So, I mean, I can't imagine this is going to, I think if anything, this will just make it more popular. But at this point, I would say digital is probably the more popular way.
Yeah.
For everyone to purchase everything.
People
it's
like
not just you.
home.
Sean does the same thing. We try to play video games with him, and he's like, I gotta wait for the store to open.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just prefer physically owning things. That's just how I am.
I have select
I have a very
ones.
old man mentality.
Yeah.
You are an old man.
I am.
Very select ones where it's like if I know I'm gonna love this, I'll want to know it's part of my collection. But if it's a game I'm like, I'm not sure. Digital, screw it. Why not?
Well, yeah, I mean, I do own things on digital, like if I can get it on sale or something like that. Or obviously there's a lot of games that are only digital.
Mm.
So I'll, if I really want to play something, I will buy it. It's not like I'm like, I'm not buying it if I can't buy it physically. But if I've given the option, I will prefer to buy it physically.
Damn you
time.
kids and your personal computers.
Damn kids with your social distancing.
Well, I mean, it's actually funny. I was watching an interview with an old woman who's down by spring break, and she's like, all these kids are just here riding around trying to get me all infected.
Well, I mean, realistically, that is a problem. There was on the news. As Ben blows his nose and shows everyone he has the coronas.
I'm leaning off screen.
God, remind me not to go over to his house.
I was watching that video. You're talking about the one of like the Florida spring breakers, right?
Yeah. Everybody showed up for spring break and all packed all the beaches. Like, that's an actual issue.
I was watching it and I was like, it is an issue, but at the same time, I understand why these people are doing it. Because it is a generation where sometimes getting the opportunity to do these things and scheduling it out is a lot of money that you're not going to get back and you're never going to be able to do this again. And let's be honest, our generation is kind of the generation of, you know what, screw it. If I die, I die. I just want to live good. And I feel like that's a lot of the people there. Keep in mind, I am saying this as someone that does not really condone it because the more that this COVID-19 spreads, the longer it takes for everything to get resolved and all of that. But I will say I do get their thought process. I don't agree.
I agree, but for a different reason.
Okay.
I do agree that this is the generation, but I feel like the reason why this generation is like, screw it, is I don't know, like this generation hasn't dealt with anything crazy. Like any major pandemics or like a world war starting or anything crazy like that. The worst thing that with like in mine and Andy's generation, the big thing was the Iraq war. But you got to think that started pushing out in 9/11. We're literally on the 20-year marker this year or next year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a while. The generation that's in the spring break, they're in their 18 to 20s kind of range. Yeah. They haven't dealt with anything major like on this kind of a scale. This is the same generation that there's been no war issues. There's been no major economic issues. There's been no recession. There's been no depression. So they don't know
news.
what. Huh?
I said, well, good news.
They were like, you guys felt left out? Well, we're going to give it to you.
So I think that's part of it because they haven't had an issue. Like, I'm not saying that Andy and I are these 50-year-old guys, but we did deal with 9/11 and we did deal with energy crises. You know, like the 90s and the early 2000s, there was a lot of weird stuff going on.
I was a part of that stuff too.
Game.
I was on the lower end, but I
right, but we did deal with the idea of like this could change our world. Now it never did. Mm-hmm. So people on like Dan, you're like 28 now, I think, or maybe 30, or
I am 28.
Maybe you're 70, 28. You're on the kind of the back end, but you only saw it from a different light, and it didn't really change anything. We never hit the major recessions. Like 2009 was the housing crash.
Yeah.
This generation didn't deal with that really.
I feel like 2009 or 2008. I think it was
2008 is in that time frame, but the housing crash. You know what I mean? Like, these are the issues we've gone through, and we saw how they affect things. We saw how they affect our parents. Well, this generation didn't really deal with any of that.
I think another problem with all of this has been how, I'm going to go a little political for once, how political leaders mishandled the situation. There are some of these people that went to this in that mindset of, well, it's just like the flu. Who cares? Like there were people in high positions of power that were kind of like, no, it's nothing to worry about. You don't have to deal with this. It's going to go away. Like, it's all going to be good. And I feel like too many people... the
narrative's definitely not helping.
Yeah, exactly. And too many people are in that boat. And then a lot of the people that are against them are in the boat of, this is the Black Plague all over again. Like 50% of the population is going to die. And so I think a lot of this boils down to... people are not acting rationally. Some people are overreacting, some people are underreacting, and there's a middle that people aren't going to because it does not allow them to use it to their advantage. People profit off of panic. People like that kind of thing, and I feel like too many people are looking at this as, well, only 1% are dying. Well, that's only 1%. Of course, keep in mind, guys, that's actually a very high rate of mortality for something like this.
But you lose my train of thought. You go on these like 10-minute tangents, Dan.
Oh, I go on tangents, Benny?
All right, both of you shut up. Let me say my piece, which is quicker. I would say we are currently, in the way the world is right now, not during the coronavirus, but just in general.
Okay.
We are probably the most socially conscious and personally selfish in history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say about it.
No, we are. Yeah. I mean, everyone's sitting around here like, I need to defend everyone around me, but give me all your goddamn toilet paper.
And then I'm going to the beach, damn it. I already planned this.
So, all right. I think we've talked enough about the coronavirus. Unless you have anything to add to this topic outside of like how we personally feel about it. Lucky for us, our business, while we're taking small hits, is not taking a major hit because we do all of our stuff online. Mm-hmm. So the only person like...
Cool, I gotta sit at home and actually keep working. This is dumb.
Hey, just like I'm supposed to get. Well, I just got the email now. Apparently, you guys can get up to 80 days paid leave if you couldn't work from home.
Damn
Sorry.
It. This bullshit.
So anyway,
I'm still gonna do it drunk, but whatever.
I mean, whatever. That explains the last couple of scripts I've been getting. And then this guy went into the portal and drank a Corona.
Did some stuff. Somehow my writing is slurred. I'm not even sure.
So, our chat said it's something like he works at a pub. When it does close, he's not getting any money. A lot of our friends, like we work here and we're fortunate for that. A lot of our friends don't. And I've hit them all up like, do you need help? Can I do anything for you? Like, should I go somewhere to tip very largely? Is that what you want? I don't know what you want.
I've offered to get groceries and stuff for the people who can't go out and get it in the morning.
Yeah.
Everybody gets all crazy and starts buying crap.
I have seen a lot of grocery stores are like opening up early for the elderly and people at high risk, which I think is surprisingly good of humanity for that.
Yeah, no, that is. Yeah. Well, and then there's a kickback going, a stimulus, $1 trillion going out to all Americans.
Did they confirm that? I've only heard random people some people are going, it's 500. Some people going, it's $17,000.
It's a stimulus package, and it depends on how affected you are. And I guess the IRS is going to be handling that. That's the email I got this morning. So basically, if anyone on our team can confirm that they are quarantined or coronavirus or something and need actual downtime.
I'm sorry.
It's not an adjective.
I'm sorry. It's a someone else decides whether or not they need it, because that's not a recipe for disaster.
Oh, it totally is.
I'm sorry. You've only got 3 children. Well, this person has 4, so I'm sorry. You don't get anything. They have to get all of it.
Apparently, the way it's being handled, from what I saw from my CPA, so this is just from my small business owner perspective, I worry let's say Andy got coronavirus, okay?
You got coronavirus.
You got coronavirus.
Basically, I'm supposed to offer Andy full paid leave to go handle everything up to 80 days and just 30 days of straight childcare. And pay him for it, and the IRS will reimburse me for what I sent Andy a home on.
Oh, I got this cough has developed.
This is just if that is how it works, this is just a recipe for disaster. This is an absolute recipe for disaster, because it's going to be there are going to be some employers that are going to be out there going, "Hey, so this is the amount that you get." And then they're going to report to get more from the IRS, and then they're going to get more pocket stuff. And that's why, I saw the one where it was like, hey, just every American gets a flat check for a month, and then the next month, every American gets a flat check, or adult, I should say, because, I mean, little 8-year-old Timmy doesn't need $1,000. But
my baby needs $1,000. He wasn't able to go to work.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's just another email I got on it, and it does state that they're still going through Supreme Court and everything with it.
Right.
So it's all getting finalized. But yes, that at least we're doing something, as opposed to the original plan of like, well, I'm sorry, service workers, but you can't go to work, and well, you should have saved.
I don't know where it is. There was a country I saw this morning that it was like grocery workers have now been classified as emergency workers because of this entire situation. And I was like, see that. I mean, that's very true. Now you can add that to your resume. Quick, go out.
The food I had here is from Fuzzy's Tacos, which is a local taco joint. I stopped by on the way back, right? And they had there was 4 people working. The place was dead. They were dealing with DoorDash orders, and it was 4 people in there. I was like, wow. Okay. That's why it took so long for me to get my food, because they had 2 people working, 1 guy working the phone on the registers, and then like a floater.
Shit.
I like Phoenix. YouTube isn't a real job. Well, Mom, YouTube's the only job left.
Yeah.
That is true.
Andy, look at the bright side. At least you've moved into a field that isn't going to can you.
Yet.
Well, before I was in the Army, though, I doubt they would have kicked me out.
No, you probably would just be in the barracks doing nothing.
Probably. Well, they probably would have told us not to come in, most likely.
Yeah.
Unless you
put
were
a bunch of guys in a barrack, give one of them
personnel, which I never was. So
the barracks are probably nothing but havens for Corona right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a petri dish right there.
So, all right. Well, this is not the topical. If anyone wondering, this is one of our weirder podcasts. We don't normally talk about too much topical stuff here, but I feel like this is such a big thing. We at least needed to cover it. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't even been paying attention. Ben just sent me an email telling me not to come into work, and I was like, all right, whatever.
It was actually hilarious. Andy's not even joking. He legit wasn't tracking any of it. He was in New Zealand having the time of his life.
Oh, it's great. And then I get back and everybody's freaking out. I'm like, what the hell?
It's a good thing you came back when you did.
I'm coming to work on Monday. And I'm like, no, don't come to work on Monday. He's like, what's going on?
Ben's like, go home, load your guns.
So, all right. So let's move on to the next topic. It's still related to Corona. But I wanted to... But no, it's more comic book related.
Okay.
So there's now talks. Now, if you guys don't know, Dan and I do a show called the Comicstorian TV show, which I think has been named to what, Dan? What did we rename it to?
CTV.
CTV. We do that
It's been that for over a year.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it started.
I feel like you should have known that.
I don't know what it's called anymore. But we've been doing it for over a year, and what we do is basically, it's not an every week show. It happens on our podcast channel. It happens on our Patreon. It happens right here on the Twitch every Monday. We talk about the latest shows and what we watched. So I wanted to talk about this briefly. If you want to catch that show, just go check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, or go to our Patreon. When we do watch the episodes, we air an episode. It's sporadic, which is why it's not really posted anywhere, like our beer show, neither of which have been canceled. Just it's kind of hard for us all to sit around and have beers right now. Or even easier, I don't know.
I need to get beer if we're going to do that.
But anyway, it's been leaked out now. So all of the CW shows are on hold. filming wise.
Yes.
And now it's coming out that they
Instagrammed
may
about
just
it.
be wrapping up with a short season, following in line with the NHL potentially just going into playoffs and the MLB being postponed and all these things.
Interesting.
Yeah, so if we end it here, and this is going to lead to my discussion about Godspeed, how do you feel about the season, Dan? Andy doesn't watch these. So this is all Dan and me.
Which show? Either?
Flash.
Or all?
That's the big one that
Any?
I've really been enjoying the season.
Honestly, yeah. So when the season first started, I was kind of and then I kind of stopped for a while because we didn't do CTV and I forgot. And then you started talking about the Grodd episode, and I watched it and I was like, okay, this is actually getting much better. And I actually did start getting back into it. I finally was like, you know what? I'm excited to watch the next episode of The Flash, which I have not said in a very long time.
Yeah. This season's amazing. And I like the buildup towards Thawne right now.
Yeah, I honestly think they jinxed themselves. I think they were like, you know what, let's do well. And they did well. And then they got canceled because of the coronavirus.
So let me get this straight. So your idea is because Flash was finally having a good season,
Yes.
the world said, fine, coronavirus?
Exactly. Because Speed Force time
So
travel
you're
bullshit.
saying we could put this on the CDC website.
But the Flash-
Coronavirus was brought on by the Flash CW show.
Pretty much. I'm pretty sure that the Flash
Okay.
went to the future, figured out
like it,
how to
yep.
make the show good, ran all the way back, and just brought it with him by mistake.
Yeah, no, I get it.
it's
I mean,
Speed
honestly,
Force
that makes
bullshit.
perfect sense to me.
Yeah, no, there have actually been other things because the Legends of Tomorrow also got very good, so I'm kind of sad that one's going down. Batwoman I kind of stopped watching, and apparently there was an entire other situation of a PA got paralyzed from the waist down from an accident on the
I saw
set.
that.
So I think they're kind of...
Batwoman I haven't gone back to since the Crisis. I heard it's not bad, but I haven't gone back.
Well, good news. You've tons of time to get.
Which is weird. You'd think I would be, but instead I started watching the show called Avenue 5 starring Hugh Laurie as a...
Okay, how is it?
It's amazing. It's a cruise ship in space that is thrown off course early on, and it's just hilarious.
With Hugh Laurie? I'm down. What is this on? I will
Yeah.
watch that.
It's on HBO, so just log into my Hulu. It's on there.
Okay.
Okay. I will watch the shit out of that.
It's only 9 episodes. I binged it all yesterday. So
I mean, if it was 9 episodes and you couldn't binge it in a day, I would very much doubt your binging capabilities.
oh no,
That
it's
is true,
amazing. And yeah, I'll give you one, just to give you an idea of the vibe of the show, because it's in the first episode. So Hugh Laurie he's the captain of the ship, but he's only an actor who's the captain because the captain didn't want to talk to people. And so he had to be American because he says that he's a British person and he has to have an American accent because they don't listen to him when he's talking in his British accent. So like through the entire show, he's going back and forth intentionally whenever he gets aggravated. Like
That's pretty accurate.
like that
I like
alone
this.
is worth
This
watching
is-
the show.
Yeah, this is good.
I might have to go check this out. What was it called? Avenue Q?
Avenue 5.
Avenue 5.
It's amazing. And it's a dry humor too. So it's definitely right up to
So, for those are freaking out in the chat right now, Supernatural will be finishing its 15th season. They have stated that when they come back, whenever they come back,
Right. Yeah.
they will be finishing the season. So we will get an actual ending to Supernatural.
I would laugh so hard if they left it as is and we get 16
That would be
seasons.
hilarious. Jensen Ackles and John Belladeggy are like, damn it! They're like, sorry, we got to finish it. I don't know what to tell you.
You know what? You know what the
Or-
kicker is though? If they did, let's say they did, they're like, we have to end it. Can you guys come back for a 16th season to wrap it up? Those guys would probably say, yeah, we got you.
Oh yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. They
It'd be
seem like
funny
cool
though
dudes.
if this was actually started by the Supernatural fans, the coronavirus, to get a 16th season. Think about it; it could happen. Pretty
So,
sure.
all right. So with it being with the seasons potentially ending early, I think what they're going to do is all have a season finale. Still, they're not just going to.
I was going to say some of them feel like they definitely could just go, and that's done.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably,
Flash could
yeah.
end right here. Literally, it could.
What was the last
There's a bunch of
episode?
plot threads left open, but you just start them up next season.
What was the last episode?
That was the one where Thawne attacked.
Oh yes,
his face?
yeah. He. Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and
actually could
we got
work.
the Mirrorverse still going on.
Yeah.
So, all right. So this leads to the next thing I wanted to bring up. So Godspeed is in that show, and everyone hated his portrayal in that show, right?
Yes, because it was terrible.
Why do you keep calling it that show?
Flash. Is that better?
Yes.
Maybe he's confused.
And he's like,
Well,
are we talking
like we're
Batwoman?
talking about something
Supernatural?
We're talking about Supernatural, right? Godspeed is in there in his version.
So everyone hated his portrayal. Now, I was reading the latest issue of The Flash. Flash is fighting against Godspeed again.
Okay.
I'm curious if Godspeed's popularity nerfed him. So now he has to show up everywhere, and he is way weaker than he ever was. What do you guys think?
Well, first of all, I feel like something happens when he runs very, very fast. Could you help me figure that out? What happens, Benny?
Godspeed? He splits into two.
Dan, I got where you were going with it, and that was perfect.
I know. Thank you.
What were you going with?
Andy, what happens when he runs very, very fast?
A portal open!
Oh, thank you.
Honey is a browser extension that allows you to find the best prices in seconds while shopping on Amazon. Hate trying to decide between different highly rated vendors? Or are you feeling misled by low prices but high shipping costs? Honey searches and calculates all prices, including shipping, helping you save as much money as possible. We use it ourselves when buying things for the office or for the set to make sure that we get the best deal. One of the best things about the extension is how easy it is to use and how much easier it makes shopping for frugal people like us here at Comicstorian. Honey has over 100,000 5-star reviews on the Google Chrome store, so you know it's a good product. In fact, Time Magazine even said it's basically free money. So next time you go to shop on Amazon, be sure to use the Honey browser extension to find the best deal and add Honey today for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE. That's joinhoney.com/RNBE to download the extension and start saving money by getting the best deals today.
The best part is you always yell at me when I try and do the portal myself.
This is a weird episode. When have we ever done Comics Experiment this way?
Never?
Exactly.
It's not the year I've been here.
Okay. So I think it's one of those.
The core of my question is he getting nerfed because he's popular?
He's getting nerfed because he became a Deus Ex Machina. He was too powerful to be continuously used. It's similar to like majority of characters that we get where, I mean, watch any like anime, a character gets super, super strong and then they kind of have to reset him a little bit. And I feel like we're in the phase of, yeah, I mean, pretty much, or Pokemon, every single new season, somehow Pikachu's a little weakling again. But I feel like that's kind of where we're at. They're finally using the character as an actual character, and they realized, well, if this guy's fast enough to actually like threaten the Flash, and the Flash usually has like that intermittent ability, like slack, Godspeed would always just fill in and go, oh, I got this, I'm gonna do it for you, and we're done.
Especially with his current direction of trying to be redeemed.
Exactly, and I feel like it would be too easy for him to do anything, and so they do have to reduce his power. I will agree that I feel like they've over nerfed him to the point that he's no longer even really as strong as the Flash. Like I feel like they're slowly just putting him lower and lower.
If you read the latest issue, Paradox like wiped the floor with him.
Oh, completely demolished the dude, which made me go, well, Flash is screwed.
I know, seriously. But then the Flash put up a good fight, which I was like,
Yeah, another
that's
great.
what got me thinking. Like Godspeed got nerfed.
Hold on, did a new episode or a new issue come out this week?
No, I'm talking 751.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the same one.
Right, I'm still playing catch up on a few comics because I forgot they came out last week, even though we've been sitting at home all week doing nothing.
Right, because in that one as well, we get Godspeed beating the crap out of the Flash too.
Yeah,
like even Flash says, most people believe I'm the fastest man alive, but even Godspeed gives me a run for my money sometimes.
I mean, so using the rules of power scaling, the base rule, there's a lot of rules to power scaling and how you gauge the feats and all that other thing, right? Mm-hmm. But the bare bones rules of power scaling is if Godspeed can beat the Flash, then the and Paradox can beat Godspeed, then Paradox should be able to beat the Flash. That's like the bare bones rules of power scaling.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they threw him out the window where Godspeed was beating the Flash, and then Paradox beat Godspeed, and then the Flash was able to almost beat Paradox. You know what I mean? Like, it was they're not like it's. And that's what I'm saying. Is his power set's weird. It's not making sense right now.
I will say I'm glad that it is pretty clear that Godspeed and Flash are not going to be the ones to defeat Paradox, so it's not as big of a concern, their power differences. Because I'm not sure if you caught it in the issue. This, like, Iris says that in the future, defeating Paradox was the one and only good thing that Eobard Thawne ever did.
Right,
was defeating. And so it's like, okay, that I do like that, because that means we all kind of know Reverse Flash, he's the strongest. Let's be honest. He's the fastest. He created his own Speed Force.
No, I believe he is technically the fastest, because whenever they beat him, they don't normally beat him in a straight fight or something.
Oh, no, they trick him.
Yeah, they always have to trick him to lose. Andy, you've done a lot more research lately on these types of things. Can you think of any time?
He's like,
why?
Did I?
On the Flash?
Well, you're a research guy, Andy.
Not on the Flash? I don't think I've done a single thing on the Flash.
Do you think, is there ever been a time when Barry straight up beat the Reverse Flash in a fight that you could think of?
I can say with 100% accuracy. I have no idea.
I don't think he has. I think they've always tricked him, or they've manipulated the time stream or something.
I feel like the only times he has would be a situation where he has been empowered by something, but never just straight the Flash.
Right. Barry Allen beat him.
Yeah. I feel like it's always been, oh, he somehow got this device that gave him extra speed, or like connected with Wally and they joined their Speed Force to do it. But I don't think he's ever directly one-on-one beaten the Reverse Flash.
So I'm going to go with what Tyler said here. This is the best way to word it. Actually, it was Tevye. I'll give it to Tevye. Not Tyler. I thought it was Tyler. Tevye brought it up in our chat. This is where I was getting to with the conversation. He worded it the best way. I didn't think of it this way. So Godspeed's constantly saying he wants to be redeemed. He wants to be redeemed. He's a villain, but he wants to be redeemed, you know? Do you think that they're turning Godspeed into the Red Hood equivalent in the Flash family? I never thought of it as the Red Hood equivalent until Tevye mentioned it in there. Yes,
he's going to be beaten with a crowbar by the Joker?
No, by Reverse Flash. A buddy of mine used one of these.
I actually would not be surprised to see that. It's quite effective. This is my +1 crowbar.
+1 of beating.
I mean, honestly, I feel like it would be cool because Godspeed started out as a fantastic character. Loved the character, loved the costume design. I just really enjoyed the character in general. And I have always wanted him to come back. And this could be a cool situation for him to be defeated by Paradox. Then Reverse Flash defeats Paradox, creating a paradox that actually brings Godspeed back to life. And that is what actually puts him in his Red Hood role. But we'll call him the Godhood. Oh my God.
You actually just made the entire plot that would make him even think.
It would work. And then he's got a gun, too.
And then we get a spin-off comic, which is Arsenal, Jason, and Godspeed. I'm sorry, Godhood.
I like it.
Red Hood and Godhood.
Wait, let us know in the comments down below if you guys would buy the ultimate Dark Trinity.
That way we can pitch it to DC Comics.
Yeah, so we can pitch it.
it.
I'd like to pitch that, please.
But yeah,
Godhood sounds so cool. The chat agrees with you, Dan. You did something right. And the 2 years you've been doing this show, you have come up with something good.
Oh, I knew it would happen eventually. I knew it would happen. Where's my banner? Dylan, can you put like confetti exploding around my camera? Just yay! Like kind of like Grunt birthday party style. Yay!
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think is there anything more you guys want to add to the Godhood discussion?
Well, I added like 3 things, so no.
I really hope
Or
that they
3
do
words,
put him in a usable position. Like, if not even like nerfing him, putting him in another just situation. Screw it. Put him with Justice League Odyssey. Speedster in space. Spacester. Why not? Let's do it.
Spacester.
All right, Dan, you lost it. You had godhood, then you went.
Yeah, man. You tried to push it too far.
I'm just saying.
Man.
Did you guys laugh? I'm just saying.
Not for the right reason.
Hey, a laugh is a laugh. I'm taking it.
All right. So let's move to the next topic here. But before we do that, Dan, I think it's time for you to go speedster speed and do something.
I am going to open a portal.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Hims, a wellness brand for men. Did you know that by the age of 35, 66% of men start to lose their hair? Have you noticed your hair thinning or hairline slowly moving backwards? Maybe even a bald spot? Well, Hims has got you covered. 4hims.com is a one-stop shop for hair loss, skincare, and sexual wellness for men. Hims will connect you with a real doctor online, and after you answer a few quick questions, the doctor will review it, determine if it's right for you, and then prescribe you hair loss medication that will get shipped directly to your door. Right now, my listeners can get started with their first month for free. Go to 4hims.com/comics. That's 4hims.com/comics. Prescription requires an online consultation with a physician who will determine if the prescription is appropriate. Offer valid only if prescribed. 3-month minimum subscription. Additional restrictions apply. See the website for full details and important safety information. Remember, that's 4hims.com/comics. All right, so I'm going to state right now, the topic we're about to move into may anger some people. May have other people agree with. What?
You say it like may? It's going to anger people. Let's be honest. This is a topic.
In defense of us and this topic, we have to talk to it due to the nature of our show. But, okay, I'm just going to go into it. You guys can decide what you want to do from there.
I was just say, I feel like we're beating around the bush a lot. Go ahead.
The new Warrior. Okay, so Marvel has recently been doing a very much we want to represent everyone attitude. Not against that. We want new superheroes who fill in some more voids of people who aren't being represented. Not against that. Just from I haven't read through this yet, so I might be wrong. Anyway, from the glance of this new team, I feel like Marvel may be going too far with this argument finally. There are some brand new Warriors, okay? And if you don't know the new Warriors, they're known for Firestar
Warriors
and Cannonball. Oh, here you go. Actually, this right here. So it was Night Thrasher, Firestar, Rage, Speedball, Namor, Rita, and Silhouette. Not a great team, not a terrible team before. Right?
I do remember you reading the New Warriors back in the 90s.
No, I read the New Warriors when they put Scarlet Spider on it. That's when I read the New Warriors.
Oh, okay.
There was a brief period where the New Warriors had Scarlet Spider on it.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
And they didn't use them at all. But they are getting new teammates. Starting at the top of the list. I don't know what they're catering to this. It looks like everything from YouTube stars to safe spaces, because there's one of them actually named that.
It's pretty much, they basically looked up buzzwords on the internet.
Yeah.
And decided to make superheroes based off of those buzzwords. Even if they were good or bad buzzwords.
Hey, for the record, there's two of them, one called Snowflake and one called Safe Space that we're going to talk about eventually. But the whole team's not good. No. Those are just getting the spotlight.
So bad.
Number 1, we have Screen Time, a new superhero that is a meme-obsessed super teen, so it's Dan as a superhero, whose brain has become connected to the internet after becoming exposed to his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
Ew.
Now
hold on, his experimental what?
Internet gas.
Internet gas.
Yeah, internet gas is when you drink a lot of Mountain Dew and eat Funyuns. While looking at the internet. So you get an internet gas. It's experimental.
I want to clarify, this is Marvel's new team. Marvel's new team. A lot of groups like this exist in indie books, never in Marvel. So anyway.
That is true, yeah.
His powers are the ability to see augmented reality and have real-time maps, and he can instantly Google any fact.
He's Iron Man without the suit.
But he's Iron Man, but not useful.
He's Memer Man. That would have been a great name.
That would have been a good name, actually.
No, that one's clearly a hey fellow kids.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
Make a character.
Next up, we have Snowflake and Safe Space.
I can't believe.
They're psychic twins. All twins are psychic, but we're psychic-er, apparently is their slogan.
Sure, that makes sense.
Oh my
That's a
God.
very 2020 thing to say.
Snowflake
2019.
is a cryokinetic person who can materialize snowflake-shaped shuriken projectiles for throwing. Safe
Very
Space,
specific,
Yeah.
by the way.
Safe Space can materialize pink force fields, but he can't put himself in them. And it's only a reflex when he's protecting others. You know what? This sounds like the Wonder Twins. One cool power set, one terrible power set.
That's exactly what they are. Even their colors kind of match.
So Snowflake, his only power is to create basically ice snowflake-shaped throwing knives.
Yes.
But it's like so freaking specific.
So
And if you're
really
not
bad
Control
version
the
of Bobby.
cold weather? No. So you can create like ice, like Iceman? No. So what do? I can create icicles to throw at things. Okay.
So they they are hyper aware of modern culture and optics, and they see their superheroics as post-ironic meditation on using violence to combat bullying.
Can you post the link in chat so that people can follow along and see these pictures?
I want to clarify. This is on Marvel.com.
Yeah. I wanted to
isn't
make sure
even
I was
like-
looking at the
like-
right thing. Oh god.
There are plenty of other websites that would easily take this and make jokes about the whole thing. This is Marvel.com's read on the characters. Okay. Next up, we have B negative. He's
Which is generally my attitude.
Hold on, I do want to include something from the Safe Space and Snowflake, because this was one of the things I saw a lot of people saying on Twitter, was that one of the big things with Snowflake is they are non-binary. So they are a they-them person.
Oh, I did see that.
That is a
I
very
didn't get
key
that.
thing with this argument, because
Okay.
I know that is like what a lot of people have problem with. So I
What
just wanted to
does
throw that in there.
Post-ironic. What is it? What was the term you just used?
Post-ironic.
Post-ironic something. You just said they are post-ironic
Wait,
Oh, I don't know.
anti.
I said something?
You literally no. Ben just read
Oh,
it.
post-ironic meditation on using.
What the hell is that?
I don't even
So
know.
when there's ironic meditation, it's right past that. So it's like when it
I
is no
see.
longer
Okay, all right.
ironic meditation, then it's post-ironic.
Sure. And I assume I'm probably still in the pre-ironic
Yeah.
section.
Okay, so next up we have B negative. Now this one makes sense. I'll at least give them this one. The teen living vampire exposed to Michael Morbius's blood as a child in a rogue but life-saving medical procedure. That was just obvious. Let's make a
It's
kid
peaceful.
vampire to match the movie.
With the
Should we
origin
call him
story
Kid
of
Vampire?
Beast.
No. What's his blood type?
He still acts like a regular kid, but he has the abilities of Morbius. He's also obsessed with all music and attitude of classic long past decades like the 90s or the 2000s.
It does not say that. It does not say
it
long
does.
He is
past
also
decades like
obsessed with all the
90s and
music and
2000s.
attitude of classic long past decades like the 90s and the 2000s.
That's
the
pretty
world
funny,
is
I'll
a
be honest.
vampire, and so am I.
I
Okay.
really hope everyone in chat heard the song just then.
Which I was going to say, isn't it a
World
Smashing
is
Pumpkins lyric?
vampire.
Yeah, okay, thank
Yeah.
you. I mean, I had to remember to long past decades, like the 90s or the early 2000s.
Remember our earlier discussion how Andy, you and I are just a little older? Or some other,
Sure,
like,
yes. I am quite an old man. I do remember fondly of the long past decades, such as the 90s.
I got
and
comments on
early
this, but we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going, okay?
2000s. All right.
B negative is the goth kid. When he was a baby,
Sure.
he got a rogue life-saving blood transfusion, we assumed, from Michael Morbius, and now he has a very similar look and very similar vampire powers. B negative ages like a regular person, or does he? And he definitely drinks blood, or does he? That's what it says.
I know.
It's actually, it's like those weird kids in school who were drinking like fruit punch, but were pretending it was blood. You know what I'm talking about, Dan.
I do.
All right, so next up, we have the last of the new warriors, Trailblazer. A regular kid scooped up into the world of teenage superheroing. Her magic backpack is actually a pocket dimension with seemingly infinite space. Is she from
So
D&D?
she has a bag of holding.
Yes. From which she can pull out useful or random items, but
So
not
it's a bag of holding. With a randomized curse on it.
She claims to get her power from a god, but not the god you're thinking of.
What?
She's a group home foster kid who is volunteering at a senior center when the mysterious threat shows up and Night Thrasher runs to the rescue. Because she helps him, she ends up in the crosshairs of the new outlawed law.
The what? Wait.
Who wrote this? Who screened this and said it was okay?
Okay, so
so far.
People.
Oh, sorry. Keep going. Keep going. You can finish it.
Trailblazer wants to help people, but she doesn't think of herself as a superhero yet. The Marvel Universe is a reflection of our own, and when a new law gets put into place, it affects people in unforeseen ways.
Okay, so
this is dumb.
So from all of these, if we go down through the list, screen time, for the record, they also made them look very similar to existing characters because screen time looks exactly like Ben 10. We've got the Wonder Twins. We've got pretty much Crush. This seems like it should be an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. So I will say this is I'm a very large argument along the argument of not everything is made for me. Not everything is made, like some things are just made for other people. This is quite obviously made for a very specific person they're trying to get into comic books.
God, and I wish they made it a fanny pack and not a backpack because that would have been
that would have been hilarious.
The fanny pack of
holding. It's like a fanny pack of holding.
Fanny pack of holding.
Just zips it open, pulls out a massive sword. Oh, love it.
This is quite obviously created with the entire intention of we want to get these people, the meme obsessed kids, the non-binary people who don't read comics. That's what this is.
And the worst part is
kid who's super into the old decades of the 90s and the 2000s.
So this is my problem with this, though. Okay, if we just had safe space and stuff like having their own comic, fine. I'm not going to read that, but that somebody might enjoy that comic book. If we just had screen time, fine. They're mixing all of these things into one team that don't mix with each other. The meme-obsessed kid is going to hang out with the non-binary people and the 90s-obsessed kid?
I honestly...
Yes.
This is does anyone remember the BK kid with the weird assortment of kids? Like, you had the jock and the nerd and the kid who likes skateboarding.
Do you mean the Burger King Kids Club?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club, too. They don't go together.
No.
But no, what we learn in the Breakfast Club is that though we have differences, we can all be friends.
I'm going to call it right now. They'll use that line in this comic.
Probably. And at the end, somebody just leaves holding the fist to the sky. Well, don't forget about me, please.
I feel like
it would be screen time because he's the only one that watched the movie.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, be negative. Sorry.
Well, no, because that's from the 70s and 80s. Too long past. He's into the long past decades of the 90s and the 2000s. Yeah, not that far back.
I feel like with these topics, these characters, what they're going for, like basically trying to get these people to read, it's gonna be so stepping on eggshells. Even if I was interested in these characters, I wouldn't want to read it because now you're gonna try to not offend the non-binary individuals,
which they already have, for the record.
Oh yeah, that's
first of all, naming one of them Snowflake is, in my opinion, a little insulting.
This is a classic case of when pandering goes wrong.
So you know how in All New, All Different, they started slowly easing in change and diversity. We had Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. We had Riri Williams as Ironheart. We slowly started getting those. I feel like they were just you know what? Screw the ease in. Let's go all out, shove it in their face. Let's see what happens. And I feel like that's what we're getting with
Jumping
this.
in,
and
knees deep.
This is a potential, if it's not done correctly, you could anger a very large community of people.
Yeah, well, and the kicker I'm saying, I think we're among the audience of the old school comic readers who saw everything that was happening and just didn't care. We didn't get upset about it. We weren't having problems with it. Even we're, Andy, like you said, when pandering goes too far, even we're looking at this guys, what are you thinking?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If anything, these should all just be X-Men. Throw them over there.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the X-Men
It would
anyway.
actually work.
Yeah, throw each of them onto an X-Men team and then like let them all kind of like get built up that way and then make the new Warriors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like I can tell you right now, most of those other comics I read to start with and then pick the ones I liked. I'm not even going to try this.
Oh, Dan, real quick.
This literally, the way this reads, sounds to me like one of those like extreme alt-right websites or extreme alt-right individuals making up their own joke comic about these topics. That's what this sounds like.
Right.
This doesn't sound like, oh, we're going to do this to please those crowds. This sounds like we're going to make fun of those crowds. And it's Marvel, so you know that's not the intention.
It's a joke that went too far.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this kind of feels like. It was like the people that are going, you know what? They want diversity. Screw it. Let's go as far as possible into this. And they were just writing it up. And
that's how we got.
Someone just handed it in. And they were
like,
what the hell? Is this real? Yeah, I gave it to you, didn't I? Okay.
Well, realistically, that's how we got like Nightfall Batman.
Yeah.
Everybody, they were like, we want extreme and edgy. They were like, fine. You want extreme and edgy? We'll do extreme and edgy. He shoots bat bullets. Why not? Also, Dan, real fast, dibs on not reading this for the review show.
I was about to say, I was like, I know I'm going to have to read at least the first 3 issues for the review show. Also, not just for you guys, but also because I'm curious how this is going to go. Because this could be one of those ones where, regardless of wanting to read it, social implications, societal implications, I don't know, the outlash from the audience, backlash. Thank you. I don't know why I can't talk today. It's because I'm not in the office. It's coronavirus.
Right, you've been thrown off since 10 a.m. when you were supposed to be here.
Yes, it was 10 a.m. and I'm like, why am I not doing anything? This will be a permanent mark on Marvel's public image if they do not do this correctly. If they don't,
I think right now with the way this is being handled, best case scenario, it sells 5,000 copies, caters to the crowd that it's going to cater to. They never show up anywhere else in Marvel, and that's just what this is.
I can't wait for the MCU movie.
Oh my god. The Disney Plus show. Shit, I said it. They're going to do it.
It's animated.
You guys aren't helping. I'm just saying.
Who, me? What? My job isn't to help. My job is to make snarky comments.
Well, you're doing a great job, Andy.
Thank you.
They should have given her a fanny pack. That would have been so great.
Seriously, a fanny pack of holding.
The way they should have done this, first off, I don't think they should have given them names. I think this should have been a release of just the images, New Warriors, and let people speculate for a while.
Yeah.
I kind of think going all out with here's their name, their powers, their background, and what they're going to be doing, I feel like that was the big mistake. I feel like they could have come out and done a meme-obsessed super teen, a psychic twins, stuff like that, and just gone through and show just the splash art.
Dan?
Yeah, what?
They're not psychic twins. They're psychic Earth twins.
Sorry, yes. Well, we don't have psychic twins.
If you're going to do it right.
We're having psychic-er. But I feel like they just went.
Not even funny.
They went too far too quick, and I feel like they removed the chance of being able to kind of backstep a little bit, reevaluate, and then go forward with people's reactions to certain things. Even if they did come out with just the name, Snowflake and Safe Space, okay, screen time, blah, 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 but giving them full, actual backgrounds and stuff and making them all pretty much exact characters from other things. Because, Trailblazer is just reminding me of Faith from Valiant. B Negative has the exact same origin as Beast Boy from Young Justice, the TV show.
At least B Negative makes sense. Marvel always does.
B Negative does make sense, but if you look at it, it is the exact same thing as the show where Garfield got injured. Miss Martian gave him her blood, and he gained the powers of her, kind of. This is pretty much the exact same with the Teen and Morbius. But then we got the Wonder Twins,
the worst
and then
one
we
of all
got
is
Teen Lantern.
I like the meme-obsessed teen. Just meme-obsessed teen.
I will be honest.
Who is given his powers from internet gas.
You know, excluding the internet gas thing, I could see a meme-obsessed super teen, hero or villain, being an actual thing. Because people these days are obsessed with memes. That one, it was okay to me up until the point that it said his grandfather's experimental internet gas.
Internet gas. Funyuns and Mountain Dew, guys. Funyuns and Mountain Dew.
Isn't experimental internet gas what I get like when I have too much?
See,
you have experimental gas every time we're doing anything.
Here's a better origin they could have done. Ready? A meme-obsessed super teen whose roommate creates his own virtual reality headset, and it goes wrong when he tests it out. Works
or his
with
roommate
his
makes experimental internet gas.
internet gas. Like, but it would make more sense because let's be honest as well. I feel like a grandfather of a teen that age might not fully understand the internet.
He came up with the internet gas when he was trying to set his VCR clock.
He's like, he actually turns on his thing and here's the dial-up. Oh, God damn it, Grandpa. Doesn't he know AOL's not around anymore?
That would be great. Around. Like, it says that he could access Google at any time, but every time he does it, he has to deal with dial-up. You guys need information? I got you.
He gets pop-ups
what are you
every
doing,
now and
screen
then.
Time? Hold on. We're still connecting. I'm getting a busy tone.
Guys, the Wi-Fi just went down. I can't see shit.
Oh, no. Oh, Lord.
This is just so bad.
Well, I can say right now, this is not a team that we're going to...
So I think I do want to say...
Dan is.
There was a... right. There was a tweet from someone we know. I want to say it was Trailer Drake. And he was like, diversity even I can't defend. And I thought that was the best thing I have ever heard.
That's what I'm saying. This is when pandering goes wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is.
This is Star Wars 8.
This is we need to make new heroes for the teens and the kids. What are they like? Memes, sure. All right. We'll make a meme obsessed hero.
But how does he get the powers?
Internet gas. I don't know.
I just want to know what the gas was for.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about what it was for, Dan.
It's the question.
These are the questions we can't ask.
It's like I don't see any purpose.
Oh,
it's
there's
like,
a purpose.
are you just the purpose so he could go to like a ball game and like inhale this gas there? And he's like, man, it's a good thing I can Google things now.
I
want the stats now.
Maybe the problem is because it's his grandfather, and his grandfather doesn't know anything about the internet. So he came up with what he thought was an experimental internet gas, and that's how he gave the kid his powers.
Well,
think about it.
I think we'll save our last story for our next episode of a Comics Experiment, the weirdest Flash stories of all time. We definitely have gone on a while talking about experimental internet gas.
I'm actually going to do my dissertation on it.
Oh my God.
I don't even know what the dissertation's for, but I'm doing it.
I was going to say, what are you doing a dissertation on?
Don't worry about it. I just like to randomly do dissertations.
Oh my God.
Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed today's episode of Comics Experiment. It's a little weird. It probably will be for the next couple of weeks till things go back to normal around here. I hope you guys enjoyed, though, and you can put up with a little bit lower quality than usual. Don't forget to check out our two sponsors. Who were they, Dan?
They were 4Hymns and Honey, where you can go to 4hymns.com/comics and get your first month for free, or you can join Honey for free at joinhoney.com/RNBE.
All right. And you can also go subscribe on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Comicstorian, where we air this every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern. There will be no stopping now. They canceled all our trips. We're just here forever now. You can find shows here every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And you can also support us by going to our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian. If you enjoy this podcast, please do one of those three things. Go to our sponsor, go to the Twitch, or go to our Patreon. And if you're just watching this and can't support us any other way, thank you for your support in that manner. Andy, thank them.
Thank you. Legitimately.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We will see you next week right here at the Comics Experiment.